Welcome to this edition of the El Segundo City Council Recap. I'm your host, Bill Thomas. Let's take a look at the items presented to the El Segundo City Council at their September 6, 2022 meeting. During special presentations, Supervisor Holly Mitchell introduced herself to the community and shared information about local issues. Supervisor Mitchell is the chair of the LA County Board of Supervisors representing District 2, which includes El Segundo. She spoke about the establishment of the countywide RV encampment program in response to the homelessness issue. It increases funding to the Department of Public Works by $25 million to support community cleanup. Supervisor Mitchell also expressed concern for the effects of the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant sewage spill. Her team is pushing for transparency and increased community notifications and protections. El Segundo Police Chief Jaime Bermudez recognized Sergeant Brandon Browning for graduating from the Sherman Block Supervisory Leadership Institute last month. The 8-month program was developed in 1988 specifically for sergeants in law enforcement. Each class centers around personal growth, leadership skills, and a sergeant's unique responsibility to their agency. Congratulations, Sergeant Browning. The item regarding a $75,000 grant award from Chevron USA Incorporated to support economic development within the city of El Segundo was deferred to a future meeting. During public communications, several residents shared their concerns about the odors and air quality in the city as a result of the ongoing operations at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant and its health effects. City Council and staff acknowledged and addressed resident concerns and will continue monitoring the AQMD hearing board meetings. City Manager Darrell George shared that the city is working with various agencies simultaneously, including LA Sanitation, the LA County Department of Public Health, the LA County Board of Supervisors, and the LA City Council representative who governs Hyperion. City Council agreed that the issue has become a health crisis, and Mayor Boyles recommended more media attention to the issue. Councilmember Chris Pimentel recommended involving the oncoming Assembly District and the state senator, as the solution will likely require state resources. City Council agreed to have a special City Council meeting via Zoom on September 8th at 7 a.m., and this to consider the city's options to address the ongoing nuisance caused by the operations at the City of Los Angeles' Hyperion Treatment Plant, including but not limited to declaring a state of emergency and/or authorizing the initiation of litigation to address the nuisance. Following a joint meeting between City Council and the Parks and Recreation Commission that was held on August 31st, the plan to modernize city parks will move forward after a review of current field usage. Recreation Parks and Library Director Ali Mancini presented total hours of use for Brett Field, Stevenson Field, and the softball field. Details on the modernization plan and its phases will be presented in future meetings over the next couple of months. City Treasurer Matthew Robinson presented the investment portfolio report for June 2022. City Council received and filed the investment portfolio dated June 2022. Also, City Council approved the consent calendar. During public hearings, Principal Planner Paul Samaras presented a resolution establishing vehicle miles traveled (VMT) thresholds of significance for purposes of analyzing transportation impacts under the California Environmental Quality Act, or VMT policy. Previously, LOS, or level of service, was used as the metric for transportation impact analysis. Using the VMT method will make the transportation system more sustainable, reduce greenhouse gas emissions and single-occupant vehicle trips, improve transit facilities, and incentivize development near transit hubs. City Council voted to adopt the resolution. Deputy City Manager Barbara Voss introduced Avery Smith, the chair of the city's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, who presented the DEI Committee's Local Economy Report. Mr. Smith provided the following recommendations. Creating a diversity tab on the Human Resources page on the city's website, explore training opportunities for city employees regarding multi-generational teams to support seniors in the workforce, also add links to the city's DEI page on the city's Human Resources page, discuss the viability of city employee sessions, focus groups related to DEI, and an annual panel discussion with local business leaders to discuss DEI topics in the workplace. Following discussions, City Council voted to approve the recommendations. Director of Public Works Elias Sassoon introduced Chuck Foley of Hirsch and Associates, who presented two conceptual design options for the new monument sign at Main Street and Imperial Highway. Following discussions about cost and maintenance, City Council agreed to revisit the item at a future council meeting to discuss the breakdown of costs and alternative landscaping options. To implement the recent reorganization of city departments, Human Resources Director Rebecca Reddick presented a resolution to establish basic monthly salary ranges reflecting the revised titles for the job classifications of Director of Community Development and Director of Recreation, Parks, and Library. Salary ranges for both positions remain unchanged. City Council voted to adopt the resolution. City Council also introduced the first reading of an ordinance amending the El Segundo Municipal Code to reflect revised names of the Community Development and Recreation, Parks, and Library departments. This item will be brought back to the September 20th council meeting for the second reading of the ordinance. Management analyst Portland Bates presented the fiscal year 2022-2026 strategic plan. The strategic planning process was a collaboration between management partners, city leadership, staff, and the community. The strategic plan articulates the vision, mission, and values of the city and establishes a set of goals, priorities, and strategies for the future. City Council voted to adopt the 2022-2026 strategic plan. Police Chief Jaime Bermudez introduced Sergeant Alex Levitt, who provided an update on the city's homeless outreach program. The police department has partnered with the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority and Harbor Interfaith to provide housing, transportation, VA benefits facilitation, identification, shelters, and other necessities and services. Additionally, 20 LA area organizations help provide free meals, groceries, showers, clothing, laundry, and inpatient substance abuse programs. The department also works with a county mental health clinician to help transients with mental health issues. With the help of community partners, more than 70 homeless individuals were transported to shelters since 2019, and 8 people have been provided with permanent housing between January and March of this year. Although all resources are available, officers often lack consent from the person services are being offered to and can only reinforce that support is always available. City Council received and filed the presentation. Mayor Boyles welcomed dipped ice cream to town and announced that L'Oreal has made El Segundo the site of their West Coast headquarters. He also reminded the public that the State of the City address is on September 14th at Pacific Corporate Towers and is a major fundraising event for the El Segundo Chamber of Commerce. City Attorney Mark Hensley shared the August 23rd verdict of a lawsuit filed against the city by police officer Scott O'Connor. The jury rendered a unanimous verdict in favor of the city of El Segundo. The city will be able to recover some of its legal defense fees. And finally, City Manager Darrell George announced that El Segundo is a finalist for the most business-friendly city from the Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation. The winner will be announced at the Eddie Awards in November. El Segundo has won this award twice before. Congratulations to City Council and the Economic Development and Community Development staff. To watch the complete City Council meeting for September 6, 2022, and learn more about the agenda items covered, visit elsegundo.org or watch the meeting on Channel 3. The next City Council meeting will be on Tuesday, September 20th.